Well, hi, Corri.
Hey, Dana. Welcome back.
Here we are. We're going to do a what do we call
Cosmic
it?
hot take.
Hot take.
Cosmic hot take today. Just focusing on energies from October.
Yep.
Since we are just closed out, and let's talk about November. And we are pretty much at the end of the year.
I mean, I don't know about you, but October flew by for me. Like, I don't
blinked.
know how we got here so fast. And even though I know astrologically time is speeding up, like it really literally is, it's unexpected how fast it goes.
Agreed. Correct. You're correct.
Awesome. So we're going to do something a little bit new today, aren't we? And we're going to take a look at the energies from the perspective of both human design
Yep.
and astrology, because in both you can look at transits.
Yep.
So this will be kind of fun. And if y'all hate it, you can tell us in the comments. Don't do it again.
Yeah, I'd like to explain a little bit how transits work for human design.
Let's jump into it.
Because you and I both talked about how do we weave it together, and it doesn't really weave.
It doesn't really weave, no.
So for human design, the sun, I'm going to use the sun as an example, but all the planets move, but basically they move through different gates. And the human design has a mandala, and if you look at it, that's how the sun moves. Pretty simple. But the gates are, it's not like 1 through 64. They're all over the place, right? So that's where the sun will move through specific gates. And then you've got the subsequent planets, also how they move, maybe in similar planets, maybe in different planets. But when we look at transits, then I look specifically at the transits or the gates for the sun, for Mercury, for Venus. There's no
overlap
or
they
interplanetary.
don't have the aspects that astrology does.
Yeah.
So we can talk about the planets moving through the zodiac signs around the astrological wheel, but we're also looking at how the planets interplay with each other through aspects, and that really gives you those energy themes. So interesting. So when you talk about human design transits, are they for the collective?
Yes. So these are the transits that are moving through from a collective. Now, for example, in October, and the transits specifically for the sun move, change gates about every 6 days.
Okay.
So we will cover anywhere from 5 to 6 gates in a particular month, for example.
Interesting.
And so there's like a flavor each week, and the sun is the most impactful of, you think about the sun shining, that's the spotlight when you're thinking about the energy. And so, for example, gate 48 was, I believe, in the beginning of October, and 48 is all about depth. And so for me, I don't have 48, but if someone else were to have it, it just means the energy would be extra.
More intense
Okay. Of that gate. When I look at these gates, I will tell everyone this is a little bit new for me, so I am exploring the transits. This is not something that I have gotten a lot in depth. So perhaps there is a way that you can look at aspects. I am unaware of that, and I have not heard anyone talking in human design about that, but you never know.
It might evolve.
It might. So when I talk about the different energies, it will be through the lens of the planets and the emphasis it has within those gates.
Cool.
During that particular time. And for this time, it'll be for November.
Yeah. Well, let's do it. Let's jump into
Let's try it.
Jump into it.
So for October, do you want to cover the energies of October?
I mean, we'll just do a quick recap. I would say for me personally, as when I looked at when I did the month ahead for October, it was a bit more of a calmer month in the sense of not as much personal drama, but the outer world had a lot of drama going on. So it doesn't mean that it was calm. And if you have particular placements, it might have been more intense for you. So it's not a universal statement. But from an astrological perspective, fewer aspects were happening. We had our normal full moon. We had our regular new moon. We had Pluto go direct on October 13th, so we've got a ramp up of energy there. And of course, we had Scorpio season that started on the 22nd. So
Scorpio!
You can tell she's
Sorry,
a Scorpio.
I'm a Scorpio.
We love those Scorpios. And Neptune went retrograde on the 23rd of October. So we're starting to see that move back to that 29 degree of Pisces, which we'll get to in November.
So from a human design perspective, we think of October as a month of inner work, as you mentioned, and deep transformation. And the sun moved through gates 48, which is the gate of depth, if I can speak, gate 57, the gate of intuition, gate 32, continuity or duration, 50, which is values, and 28, which is the gate of struggle. So the month was really about asking us to trust our instincts, confront old fears, and really connect with what gives our lives meaning.
Okay.
And you and I kind of talked about that the other day.
We've been doing a little bit of that.
What's giving life meaning?
What are we here
And so
for?
it was really about going a little bit beneath the surface, trust our inner wisdom through that gate of intuition, and really discern what's true. The gates 32 and 50 were all about legacy and values, what's worth preserving, where we need integrity. And again, think about so you mentioned the energies as a collective. Take the human design and think about how it applies to you with these gates. And if you were able to, dig into some of these things. So the gate 28 is the gate of struggle. Struggle is all about facing the question of purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Does that sound familiar?
Sounds very familiar.
So where are we struggling to survive? Where are we ready to live within deeper meaning? October was really about stripping away the noise so that as we go into November, we could rebuild from a place of clarity and power. And so as we move into November, the theme is really about power of purpose.
Okay. Deep.
Yes. So that's October.
Okay, let's jump into November then. This little peek ahead. We're at the beginning of the month, and it's a big month. So as I mentioned, October was a little bit had fewer maybe major things going on, not so much out of the norm. November is a bigger energetic month, I would say. First part of the month, we are still in Scorpio season. And Scorpio, that sign of the Scorpio is really all about transmuting our fears, bringing up our fears to the surface, looking at them, shining them in the light, and healing them ultimately for deeper transformation. But it can bring up a lot of fears. It brings up our shadow side. It brings up our darkness. Mm-hmm. And when we embrace those aspects of ourselves, then we can transmute them into beautiful light. So I love Scorpio energy. It's also spooky season, so that's fun. I mean, there's no coincidences, right? With that, we will have a parade of planets moving through Scorpio with Mars, Mercury, the sun, Venus, the moon will make its pathway through there. With that, we will have a grand water trine because we have Jupiter in Cancer trining Saturn in Pisces, and then there's still an operational trine there with Neptune in Pisces as well. So as Mars moves through and hits that 25 degree point, as Mercury moves through, and Mercury's going to hit that 25 degree point 3 times because we have our Mercury retrograde this month, and then we'll have Venus, and then we'll have the sun and all these things. But a trine is the most positive aspect in astrology, so that's like natural gifts coming. So when you have a water grand trine, there's a natural pull toward your intuition.
I'm excited because I'm a water sign.
Yeah, strengthening of that intuition. It is I trust your feeling, trust your guts. It will also bring up a lot of emotions, but I think in a positive way, because again, a trine is a positive thing. So it doesn't mean like, oh, yuck, emotions, but it's more like, oh, I'm feeling things better, or I'm in touch with my emotions. This would also be a good time to just watch the waters in the world. So your oceans, your rivers, lakes, rains, floods, anything going on with water could become prominent in the news as well. Okay. You want me to keep going?
I don't know. Do you want to take a beat?
I'll take a beat. So
Okay.
do you have anything that's kind of matches up to that?
No.
Oh, not at all.
Well, I think I would agree that November is going to be a strong month.
Yes.
So we've got the sun is moving through gates 44 patterns. 1 is self-expression. Let's see. 43, which is insights. 14 is, I believe, power skills. Make sure I got that right. Yeah. And then 34 is power. So again, very powerful month. Closing with the 9, the focus. So we're really taking a full journey from recognizing our old patterns to then embodying new power.
And so, very Scorpio.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Very Scorpio.
So the gate 44 is what starts the month, and that's all about, again, patterns. So what's being repeated, recognizing that. We need to see who and what's meant to stay in our orbit. So it could be good patterns, could be bad patterns. So just recognizing that. Gate 1 is bringing that creativity and self-expression in. And so it reminds us to create from authenticity and not from expectation. And I know you and I have talked a lot about like, oh, should we do this? Should we not do that? And it's really not about that. It's really, what are you feeling and what excites you? And for me, I am crocheting right now. So that's my form of creativity. Don't laugh.
I'm not
like,
laughing.
I was like,
crochet
that
too.
feels like so, I know.
I crochet too. I like it.
Sometimes there's a stigma, and I'm like, I don't know why.
I don't think
I
there's
feel like
that
grandma.
stigma. I think after COVID, there's no stigmas anymore for bread making, for needlework, or crochet or knitting. I think those are very standard activities again.
Or I'm like, am I showing my age? I don't know. Okay. So then as we moved through gate 43, so I have the gate 43. So this just means the energy is going to be quite powerful. The breakthroughs come. So it's all about breakthrough insight. And the gate 43, I would say the cautionary tale is not sharing those insights before you're ready or others are ready. Because when you share those breakthroughs before people are ready to hear them, you can kind of get some like, backlash. You're weird, or yeah, you're a freak. So you want to make sure the timing is right there. But there will be these flashes of insight that really require us to hear, to sit, to listen, to hear through that stillness. And I think it's very appropriate for Scorpio season, candidly.
And a Mercury retrograde.
Which we'll
listen more than you speak.
We will talk about that too. And then gates 14 and 34 are power. One is power skills, one's power. So a lot of power. And that's about awakening empowerment, prosperity, and showing us how to generate abundance from alignment and not effort. And that is something I think a lot of people are going to struggle with, because you think you have to put forth effort to be prosperous and abundant, and you don't.
We're reprogramming that.
We're trying, right? And then as the month closes in gate 9, I have several of these gates actually, so it's going to be a fun one for me. 9 is about the power of focus. So true creation happens when you create intentional attention, because it's not just about, okay, here's where am I focusing today? It's, I'm going to be smart and intentional of, this is what's going to take my energy, and is it worth it? So be wise about it.
Cool.
That's what I got.
I like it. Well, with that parade of planets through Scorpio and the water grand trine that they'll be interacting with Neptune, Saturn, and Jupiter, I do believe that the personal planets are going through a consciousness upgrade. So really balancing growth with practical application. Intuition is up-leveling, having a mature perspective and wisdom around things, which is great. So this episode, I think we're airing it on November 5th, which is the Taurus full moon. So we're going to start off the month strong with that fixed energy in the full moon sign of Taurus. So again, we're releasing again, what might be good to explore is what we no longer value. Releasing even some materialism, the consumerism that we've all got sucked into. So releasing some of that energy would be good. We do have an operational for about a week. We have Mars in Sagittarius opposite Uranus and Gemini, which can make us a little bit more accident prone. So just pay attention to your environment, your surroundings. No texting and walking, please. You can trip off a curb and sprain your ankle. So let's not do that. It just makes us a little bit more, stub your toe. Those types of things happen more frequently in that surprise energy. And then on November 6th, we have Venus enter Scorpio. So lots of Scorpio energy throughout the month. We have I think it's our final Mercury retrograde for the year. It starts on November 10th and goes through November 30th, my birthday. It will go from 6 degrees of Sagittarius back to 20.
And the shadow period and all that.
It's about 2.5 weeks prior to, so we're in the shadow period already of it. And it's about 2.5 weeks after. So about mid-December is when the energy fully clears from a Mercury retrograde. And as a reminder, with Mercury retrograde, as with many retrogrades, you do the things that begin with RE. So rest, relax, rethink, reassess, rewrite, reevaluate. So this is the time to go inward and rethink everything that you've been doing. So again, this is like listen more than you speak. Get plenty of rest, a lot of self-care. This is really about, the up leveling of your mind and your communication, because it's going to hit that trine, that water grand trine 3 times on its way in, on its way out, and on its way in again. So pretty exciting stuff. The Sagittarius aspect is going to be all about your vision and your wisdom and your growth and your philosophical beliefs. With the Scorpio is all about your inner truth, your psychology, and your feelings toward your fears and your beliefs. So it's a good time to rethink what you believe. What's true for you?
Can I interject on my Mercury?
Please do.
Okay, fantastic. So Mercury, because of the retrograde, it's actually going to retrace a lot of the gates that actually I just talked about, which is 34, 9, 14, 43. So it's really about editing the story we've been telling. So this is a mental detox. So how do we communicate our power? Are our words pushing or are they aligned? Again, Mercury, all about pausing, refining, as Dana mentioned, and to be able to speak with clarity instead of urgency. And that 43 shows up again, breakthrough insights. So the insights are coming, but they're only going to land when we slow down to listen. And so again, it's just a reiteration of not moving crazy fast. And we're going to see that in some of the Mars energy as well, is slow down, find your rhythm.
Which we need after a super fast year, right? Like it's okay. It's like now we're all like, please, I want to slow down. Please give me a little bit more time to like acclimate.
Yeah.
So I will say on the 12th of November, we have Jupiter start its retrograde period. And it will go from 25 degrees of Cancer back to 15 degrees of Cancer. And it's going to it'll be retrograde until March 10th of 2026. So it's a normal period of retrograde for Jupiter. And if we thought comfort and self-care were important this year, it's even more important in the retrograde. This is where we go inward and we really work with our inner child. We might call it hibernation season because, again, Cancer is really about the home and family and comfort. And Jupiter is going to expand all of those themes in our lives. But it's really about holding on. If we're holding on too tight to anything, because Cancer has a tenacity to it and will hold on tight to things even when it's time to let go. So really, are there feelings that we need to let go of? Are there wounds from early life that we're ready to let go of? What does family really mean to you? What does home really mean to you? That's what that Jupiter retrograde is asking us to dig a little bit deeper into.
So from a human design perspective, Jupiter is in gate 62, which is the gate of details. And again, turning retrograde, as Dana says, and it's not about thinking bigger. It's really about speaking clearer. And so Jupiter expands through clarity and communication in that gate of details. And the growth comes from being able to master the details and speaking truth simply and clearly. The shadow side, and I don't really talk a lot about the shadows, but there's a gift in a shadow, and the shadow can overanalyze or argues to be right. So if you find yourself doing that, you may want to take a beat, check yourself. And with the retrograde hitting, it's all about refining your message, not shouting it louder. And we've seen a lot of that happening as of late, is a lot of loud shouting, thinking that people are going to take notice.
Or change their minds.
Or change their minds.
Shouting at each other.
That's right. And that is not the case. Wisdom is going to grow in that silence and simplicity. And again, the breakthrough and insights are going to come for people. And as I said, it's all about listening in the silence. That's where you're going to get the clarity. And so no more shouting. No more shouting, please.
No more shouting.
Yep.
All right. We have our new moon in Scorpio on November 20th. We also have Uranus in its retrograde. It's already retrograde, moving back into Taurus for a few months until we get into 2026. So it's going to be sextiling Neptune retrograde at 29 degrees of Pisces. And with some other planets involved, we will have a kite. It's a special formation of aspects. Looks like a kite, and it's pointing to that Uranus. So this energy is really going to be about breaking free, shaking things up, like the shakeups that are necessary. So it's really about, again, like opening up consciousness into a higher level. So it's really cool month for that. And a kite, I think, is a positive aspect, positive shape. It's just pointing us toward breaking free from what's been holding us back. And I think these retrogrades with Mercury, with Jupiter, that's going to help us decide what we are ready to break free from as we sit in that silence, as you mentioned. I will point out that we have a window from 11/12 to 11/27. Well, all the outer planets are retrograde except for Pluto. And we will also have Mercury retrograde going on during that time. So that mid to the end of the month is pretty much covered in retrograde energy, meaning it's internal work. It's not so much external work. Now, we'll just keep an eye on the outside world and let it do whatever it's going to do, but not allowing that to impact us as, again, we are raising our consciousness level in that ascension process. All right. And let me see here. Oh, I will point out, it's not a great time during that window or those blocks of weeks to launch anything new, if you can help it. It's really about getting clarity. So we're going to reflect and go inward and get those answers. Lots of flow with the water themes this month. A lot of water in the month of November. What does water do? It flows easily. And when water runs up against a barrier, what does it do? Flows around it. It doesn't burst through. It doesn't force its way. It gently flows around and finds a way around those barriers. So again, we're going to be asked to be in the flow this month as much as possible. On the 21st, we have Sagittarius season begin. And then we have Saturn go direct at 25 degrees of Pisces at the end of the month on the 28th. So jam-packed, full energy of November.
I don't have anything to match that, but I can share with you because I do think that Mars and Venus are, as personal planets, have impact. So I've got some information there, and
Please
then I'll share. I do want to talk about Saturn as well.
Okay.
So Mars this month is really our classroom for personal development. It's where we're going to refine instinct into intelligence and passion into purpose. And so the gates that flow through Mars are, let's see, gates 14. So you're going to hear some repetition because these are Sun and Mercury as well, but 14, 34, 9, and then 5 and 26 are the new ones. So 5 is fixed rhythm, which you have, and then 26, which is the sales gate. Gate 5 is about rhythm. It's fixed rhythm. And it's about syncing your drive with natural timing. And so you may find yourself, if you don't have this in your chart, you may find yourself being more consistent. Dana has a routine she does every single day, and it's the same. She wakes up pretty much the same time in the general sense. Meaning you get up around the same time.
Yes.
You have you do your coffee, you do your meditation, you like that all happens.
It all happens in the morning.
Well, so you may find yourself feeling in more rhythm than usual. Now, Mars wants to rush because it's a young energy, but the mature Mars understands the pacing of that. So if you're feeling rushed, maybe it's that youthful Mars energy, and slow it down a notch. Every time we feel reactive or impatient, that is Mars giving feedback. So it's an invitation to pause, breathe, and redirect into something that builds versus burns, if you will. And so when Mars is healthy, it's going to act from alignment. And when it's in shadow, it forces. And so just recognize, are you feeling like you're trying to be forceful? You mentioned the flow of the water.
Yes.
That's exactly right. Are you feeling like you're pushing or forcing, or do you feel like you're going with the flow? And that 5 is really about that flow. It's that rhythm. Are you going with the rhythm and trusting that timing, or are you trying to create something that maybe you shouldn't be creating? And then Venus is about how we connect. So to others, it's pleasures, it's what we value. And so this month is about redefining worth, rediscovering meaning in relationships, and creating purpose. And so we've got the gates 32, which we talked about, 50, 28, 44, 1, 43, and 14. All gates have talked about. So Venus is all about asking what's worth keeping and what's ready to be let go.
Doing a lot of that this month.
And that 28, again, is the gate of struggle. And so she's going to remind us that meaning can come through challenge. So again, what do you need to let go of? And love is going to deepen when you find that purpose.
That's good.
As it moves through the creative and prosperity gates later in the month, that's when we're falling back in love with our own expression, our own purpose, and the abundance that comes from joy. And Venus is teaching us that worth doesn't need proving, it is remembered.
I love that. Very cool.
I know. And then
Saturn. Yeah.
Saturn. I found this interesting. And again, Saturn is very slow moving. I did not look at when it entered this gate, so I apologize. But Saturn is staying retrograde in gate 36. Gate 36 is the gate of crisis. Mm-hmm. Does that resonate with anyone?
Feels right.
Does that feel right?
That feels right.
So it's really about emotional turbulence that leads to progress. Okay. So we just have to get through it. So the energy, again, can feel chaotic. What have we been saying? Feels chaotic. But it's actually refining our emotional intelligence. And it's going to teach us to hold center through discomfort. So we've been talking a lot about that.
So there is a purpose to this.
There's a purpose. Growth happens when life is not easy, but we can stay open through change. And that's what we have to do. So it's going to happen through the entire month. And I actually think it's even going to go through December maybe.
It probably will.
Yeah. Because you said, when does it turn back?
It will go direct on the 28th of November, but it will still be in the sign of Pisces, because just because the planet's direct, it takes time to speed up again. So when it stations retrograde and it stations direct, it basically feels like it's standing still. And so it takes some time to get that energy moving again. So I bet it's in that probably through December at least.
Well, we'll give you an update next month.
We'll tell you next month.
we'll have
look
an answer
it up,
for you.
and we'll tell you next month. But I would love for any listeners who feel comfortable to drop any comments about how their October went. And if you're listening to this, partway through November, tell us how your November's going. We'd love to see if anything resonates or if this is all hooey.
This month is really about moving slower, speaking clearer, love deeper. And we can't speak about love enough. Love is so critical, especially at this time when the chaos and everything is going on. Find the love. And if November feels slower, it's intentional.
It's intentional.
Yay! I would like it to be slower.
October blinked.
It is a recalibration month. So refine your voice, align your power, and return to rhythm that feels right for you.
Yeah, I think that aligns with the astrology as well.
So, okay, should we do a quick card?
Pull a card for the month.
And then we'll call it.
Tell us about November.
Right,
what should we expect from the collective?
Okay, well, it's not going to fall out, so I'll just pick.
Time to pick.
I'm not a fan of this card.
You're not?
I'm not. I mean, I am, but I guess it's how you interpret it. The card is security, and it is like a cave, right? And it's got some carvings on it, and it's got a fire, and there's stars and the universe out above. It's actually quite peaceful.
It feels cozy.
It feels cozy. And so I guess what I take from that is I think of comfort. And so November may be a cozy month. And
did I just say it's a hibernating month?
Yes. I was just going to say, and again, to go inward, I think of whether it's when you do a fire, I always think of you either with close friends or one or two people, but it may be that you're, with your closest people, and you're, again, looking up at the stars and thinking about what will be or what's to come. The drawing on the wall I always think is interesting. It looks like there's a man, maybe on a horse, and then some kind of animal.
It's like, what are those Ice Age elephants, mammoths?
Yeah,
with
mammoth.
tusks. Yeah.
I'll see for anyone watching.
This is why I need glasses. To me, it's a cozy home. Like, again, your security. So we think about Jupiter in Cancer, of what makes me feel secure, what makes me feel warm on the inside. What does home and family mean to me as we rethink, especially as the world continues to be chaotic, and it will, guys, for a while, like a couple years probably.
We were like, a while means a few years.
A few years. That the outer world may appear to be in chaos. So what is within me that creates my security? Because I can't get security from the outer world. None of us can. We have to find our security within. So that's what this card says to me, is like,
Spot on, I think.
where is that within me? That light within me.
Love it.
Beautiful.
Perfect. Wonderful.
Awesome.
Well, good luck November, everybody. And
The odds be ever in your favor.
we'll see you on the other side in December. Bye.